Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Another prepping video here. And as you can see behind me, I got a few gold items for the pandemic. Not nearly as much as I should have. But eventually, when the money comes, I'll get some more. So, we're talking prepping. And there's a whole lot going on out there, guys. If you're paying attention to alternative media and mainstream, you gotta watch both. You have to watch both or you're not informed. I don't care what your views are. I hate and despise MSN, CNN, trash. But you have to watch occasionally and compare it to what you're getting on alternative media on the internet, and then you make your decision from the facts that you get from both sides and the big picture from both sides, right? It's an important part about prepping. I have prepper buddies that they watch nothing but MSM and believe that is gold. That is the be-all, end-all. And if you think like that, guys, I think you got a big eye-opening experience coming when what the TV tells you isn't right. That's not really what's going on, because there's an agenda going on, and you don't know by who or how or why until you pick that up from alternative media. And that's why you gotta watch both and compare. Always comparing. Now, I'm not a big news nut, but I do watch a lot of alternative media, and then I compare it to local news, and normally the national news puts in crap onto the local news anyways. So it's kind of a free-for-all. You get both sides. It's really important to do that because you got to keep your eye on the ball. You don't want to be distracted with all this other crap going on, or what they want you to know for their particular narrative. Now, I'm going to kind of get away from this topic a bit, get back into the prepping, but that is a big part of prepping, guys. You got to do that. Don't just think one side is right ever, because that's when you'll get into trouble. One of my very popular videos, 90% of you will go to a FEMA camp, and here's why. Still to this day, very popular. Still get comments and questions on that. Believe me. I think it's helped a lot of people out there. And if you haven't seen it, hit my playlist. It's in there under prepping. And a good watch. A very good watch. I go into it, and yes, these places exist. And it's pretty brutal. But anyways, getting back into the prepping, it doesn't matter who gets in next year, guys, but what matters is if you have your prepping supply and stuff stocked up and ready to rip by next year. That's as simple as I can put it. Do you have a bug out cabin yet? Do you have a property you can go to out in the country that nobody can get to, or very difficult to get to? Is it well stocked with everything that I'm talking about? Prepping gear, food, long-term food in a remote area needs to be stored underground, if at all possible. Unless you have some other means that will not fail to keeping it at a certain temperature. What are we talking about? We're talking about root cellars. We're talking about homemade root cellar or homemade, you know, cut into the side of a hill and build a little underground root cellar, freezer for long-term food storage that you can hide and blend into the hillside or into the ground and make it look like nothing. So nobody comes around, no critters come around, and try to place your long-term food storage in a spot, maybe in some metal containers underground. That way they do not condensate and rot and rust on you while the storing your food. That's why the root cellar is kind of a big deal, where you dig down into the dirt. That's all it takes. Build an insulated box down there. It will hold temperatures around 50 degrees, something around there, and keep your food stocks a long time. Long time. Doesn't cost you anything but some hard labor and some materials. One time. No electricity required. It's natural, Mother Earth. The temperature at a underground depth is a more constant 50 degree range, and it will do a good job of keeping your food longer, lasting longer, and keeping the rot out. Because even if you buy long-term survival food and throw it in a corner in your bug out retreat, and you're not there, and temperatures fluctuate, humidity fluctuates, yeah, even though it's sealed in a Mylar bag, eventually that's going to make an effect on that food, and the long-term food is going to not be so long-term anymore, and by the time you need to open it and use it, you may be in for a disastrous result. Okay? So, root cellar, kind of important. Takes a little bit of work, but if you got a family there and some shovels, go to work. Because it's going to provide long-term for you and your family, and it's not going to use any electricity. You don't need any generators or anything like that. It'll take care of you, and you'll be glad you did, believe me. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of videos online about how to make your own, and I would highly suggest grabbing those videos up, more than one type, and binging them, and also downloading them if possible, and burning them onto a DVD or save them onto a thumb drive where you can refer to them later for tips and tricks, or if you forget how to do it, or best practices and methods, and go on and go from there. Get some books maybe on it. It's going to be important, guys, because eventually most societies eventually will eat themselves alive eventually, and we will be back to the pioneer days where we have to relearn what the old pioneers, explorers, survivalists, how they survived, how they did it comfortably, what worked, what didn't. And I myself have recently gone from modern back to old school barrel stove that the old timers used and swear by to this day. So the old timers were smart. A lot of people don't think they were. just because, oh, well, they didn't have cell phones and the internet back then, so they were dumbasses. No, guys, we're turning into dumbasses, even though we have a lot of information at our fingertips. Way more information that you could ever believe at our fingertips. Yet we're still being dumbed down to the point where, you know, it's not looking good. So, you know, I'm just throwing stuff out there because things could get bad, and most likely will get bad. But like I say, guys, it's time to think about root cellars, long-term storage of food without electricity. Yeah, it's important. It is definitely important because you can store your meat in there, your fruits, your veggies, and they will last a frickin' long time in a root cellar. You guys got to look that up. Some stuff for years and still edible. Still nothing wrong with it. And actually some of the stuff tasted even better than ripe stuff. So it's like, whoa, what's going on there? So check that stuff out, guys. It's important to research now while the getting's good, when it's easy to. And like you say, a DVD player or DVD burner and a DVD player and or even a USB drive would be worth their weight in gold right now. If you are thinking about heeding my instructions here and grabbing a whole bunch of prepping and survival information and any other repair videos that you find that you may need in the future, burning them onto DVDs. Geez, you can give them away as gifts to people. Pass them out to friends and family is the best way. Or thumb drives, whatever works for your family. And get them to hold on to that stuff for long term. Now, I lean more to the DVD section because most people, physical media is pretty good, but a thumb drive will work. You don't need a DVD player for sure. Most people have computers or laptops, so a thumb drive will work. Most of the new laptops do not have DVD drives anymore. So, yeah. You might be stuck with just doing thumb drives, like I say. But it's very easy to get that information from YouTube. I'll give you a hint. The Torch, it's called Torch browser, Torch browser. And from there, that browser allows you to grab those videos for free, audio and video. I'm not going to go into detail on that because YouTube has wiped that video that I made how to do that from YouTube, so you guys are on your own for that part, but you can look it up. It's easy to do, very easy, and excellent resource. Anyways, wanted to share that, and hopefully you guys are prepping out there because stuff's looking pretty rough out here, guys. It is getting crazy. So stay tuned, stay prepared, get out there. Thanks a lot.